you're just joining us, you're watching Twilight on CRTV News. Professor Victor Mbarika, President of the Board of Trustees of the ICT University, he's based in America, is back home. He comes regularly when he has things or surprises for Cameroonians, especially as he wants to promote local development. Professor, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Nice meeting you, but I remember you were on this set even while in the United States of America.
That's right. A few months ago, I think. Yes.
With a contribution, which is always highly welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm always honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Professor, we watched you yesterday with the Prime Minister. You were already with the Director General of CRTV. I'm sure you're announcing good tidings.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to start by saying that our work internationally that we do just received some really good support from East Carolina University, where I was recently named as the Stallings Distinguished Scholar, International Scholar, thanks to Mr. Clark Stallings and Dean Paul Schweger. I had to mention that because it has really propelled a lot of the international work I do as an individual. But now, coming here as in the capacity of ICT University also, I was excited because we were able to get some support from our contributors to offer 10 PhD scholarships and 10 master scholarships to Cameroonians below the age of 30 for masters and 35 for PhD. And had a wonderful audience with the Prime Minister, head of government. I'm really grateful for his welcome. Really nice gentleman, and he really agreed with me and was excited, especially about the aspect of each of these scholarships be given to one region of the country.
Okay, each of the 10 scholarships, each going per region. That means that the 10 scholarships for PhD, you said?
The 10 for PhD and the 10 for master's, so each region will get one PhD, one master's.
Wow, that's interesting.
And these the people that will get the scholarships, we will be glad for the government to recruit them to teach in universities in Cameroon. But even if the government does not recruit them, ICT University will recruit them as our future professors, deans, vice chancellors, be it serving Cameroon or serving Africa, because ICT University has a strong vision for Africa.
Before we go ahead, I want you to introduce this ICT University. Perhaps those who have not known you are seeing you today want to know what ICT University is.
Yeah, ICT University stands for Information and Communication Technology University. Our slogan is infusing technology in every academic discipline. So in other words, we don't only teach technology, but we teach technology in business, we teach technology in education, we teach technology in marketing, etc. And so we have a very strong focus in teaching things related to technology. So if a student is in our marketing program, for example, before they finish a degree in marketing, they should be able to build a good e-commerce website where they can market products and not just write what is marketing and define it and so on. So ICT University came to Cameroon as well as other developing nations with an American-style education where most of our curriculum was gotten from our institutions in the United States and then tailored to suit kind of the African context. And we are based, in terms of Cameroon, here in Yaoundé.
Because you're called President of the Board of Trustees of ICT University, I know we have a Cameroon campus. It means that there are other campuses in Africa.
Right, not just Africa, but we even started originally with India, where we ran one of the largest digital literacy program, and I want to thank the Prime Minister of India, because at the time we started, he was the governor of Gujarat, who approved that project, and we trained well over 80,000 people in India at the time. And then we then had a lot of involvement in Uganda, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and we're very gracious that the Cameroonians as well as the Cameroon government opened its hands for us to establish a campus here.
Prof, let's talk now about who qualifies to be trained, I mean, whether it's in Cameroon or in Nigeria or other campuses of ICT University. Is it any Cameroonian who is at the advanced level, or who is still to have the advanced? What is the qualification to get in there?
Well, we already have partial scholarships for Cameroonians coming in for undergraduate, for the bachelor's degree. Those ones benefiting Cameroon for now because the funding that was given was mainly for Cameroon. But we are working, however, to make sure other parts of Africa will get that. Still, students from other African countries that decide to come study in the Cameroon campus pay more.
I just want to indicate that we see you here with the Prime Minister of the Republic.
Yes.
That was yesterday, I presume.
Yes, 2 days ago.
2 days ago, when you were received by the Prime Minister, and you're trying to present some of the things that your university is doing for Cameroon and for Africa and
Absolutely.
for the world. And you always believe that ICT's professor
Yes.
are the key to everything in life now.
Oh, absolutely. You see, in the earlier days when we were involved with ICTs, it was about making large organizations better. It was about making CRTV better. It was about making IBM better, Microsoft better. But ICTs have now come to make you and my life and the life of the woman on the street selling mangoes to make their lives better.
How possible is
Absolutely.
that?
See, like in some parts of Mali, the cattle rearers now do not have to take their cows to the market. They take pictures of it, they send it. If somebody wants it, they work on the price, and then before they take it. So they don't have to be nomadic as they used to be.
To waste time and resources, energy, to take it to the market and discover you don't sell.
And discover you don't sell. Now everybody has a mobile phone. It's very cheap now. I mean, they can take a picture of the cow, they send, and then they go back. And that is what really excites me as Victor Mbarika about ICTs. I am more about looking at ICTs in a way that helps the common man. You see, like the recent, well, not recent, we're still going through the COVID pandemic. Most countries, if not all, closed schools, and the Cameroon government rightly closed universities here. But guess what? The ICT university, we continued classes because we told our students you can't be on campus. The government has declared you can't be on campus, but they continued online as if nothing happened and finished the semester on time. This is through the help of ICTs, and so it's not only for big organizations, but for the common man and for students and so on to benefit from.
It's a little unfortunate that our viewers cannot see how many people are coming to see Professor Mbarika out here. I think they're interested in seeing you and knowing that you're around, Professor.
Thank you.
You should be critiquing that too. But Professor, you're talking about the role of ICTs now with the COVID-19. I think it's time for the world to start thinking of how to live beyond this COVID-19 using ICTs.
Absolutely. I feel vindicated in a way because I have sung this story about governments in Africa adopting e-learning, for example, online learning, and many times the mentality of the older professors, which I'm not blaming them, you know, is that e-learning is not as good as meeting students face to face. I agree. But the technologies are so advanced today to the extent that you can even give exams and monitor the students wherever they are using webcams. You make it compulsory that they must take their exams using a laptop that has a webcam. And so it's even much more powerful than invigilation in a class, because there the cameras catch the way your eyes are going left and right, and you can't even cheat. So the technologies have really gone far ahead. And I can understand the skepticism of some of my older colleagues because they were trained in a generation where everything was paper-based. But I feel vindicated because now with COVID-19, it has forced literally most African governments, and I've been privileged to meet quite a number of African presidents, to now push their ministries of education or higher education, whatever they are called, to adopt online learning. And so life will never be the same in the education space. In fact, let me even say, even in the healthcare space, because now telemedicine, for example, is being pushed by many countries, which is one of the areas we want to really also assist Cameroon in.
We've also had things like artificial intelligence driven by computers and so on.
Absolutely.
But Professor, you need to talk about this where internet penetration rate is high. Is it the situation in Africa now?
Absolutely.
And is it affordable to the man on the street down there?
Let me say, I feel ashamed when I read the book I wrote about connectivity in Africa, which was published by the United Nations about 20 years ago, my first book ever, where we were looking at, you had less than one telephone per 100 people. That value is called teledensity, which is a measure of the number of telephones per 100 people. Most African countries had less than one. Now, it is not anything proud for anybody to say in Africa that I have 2 phones. It's common. Now, the connectivity that we can get here in Cameroon with MTN, Orange, is good enough. I think the issue is that sometimes, as Africans, we have had the mentality of we don't have enough. And we have to rethink that. I have taught my classes in the United States right from, in Cameroon, from my hotel, using MTN, Orange, and Nextel hotspots. And it works just fine. And I'm not even talking about the future. There are students in rural parts of Cameroon that are taking our programs, and no problems with, well, maybe saying no problems with connectivity is not correct, but there are some challenges with connectivity. But what we have in Cameroon and many other African countries is good enough to at least get classes going.
How would you convince your older colleagues who think that they should go back to paperwork, to writing and correcting, seeing them, as you said earlier on, Professor?
Yeah, you know, I have to be very, very careful because academia is very political. So I have to be careful what I say. What we have discovered in our practice is that universities need to provide younger people to assist the older professors in putting up their courses online. When you just give it to someone that went to school back in the 60s, the 70s, went to university back then, well, there were hardly any computers in much of Africa back then. So you cannot blame, I cannot blame them for having that fear of technology. So what we have done, which has been successful, we've had people teach online that are over the age of 70 even, and we give them good technical support. So it's not that the technologies are lacking, it's just that, like when COVID started, they just told these professors, go online. No, it can't work that way. You have to provide the needed support such that they can be able to operate online, because it scares many.
How would your university be assisting African governments, Cameroon governments in particular, to put up these structures? Do you have the manpower, the resources, the know-how to be able to assist them to come with their 10 state universities, or how many of them, and the other higher institutions of learning?
Yeah, obviously we cannot assist all the state institutions in Cameroon. So part of the offer we have made is to provide 2 state institutions with the facilities needed to practice e-learning. And by the way, in Cameroon here, I believe some of the state universities have even started putting some things together. So we'll only be adding to what they are really doing. I feel a little embarrassed that we have done this in many other African countries. If you Google ICT University and the donations, e-learning donations, you will see so many donations that we've done in Tanzania, in Zimbabwe, I mean, all over Africa, Nigeria, at least 20 institutions in Nigeria, they've benefited from this particular initiative. And so, being a proud Cameroonian, I'm happy to announce that we will be doing this in any 2 institutions the government tells us, hey, do this there. And even the selection of the PhD and Masters will be done by the government, by the way, not ICT University.
We shall be receiving in about 3 minutes members of the Timely Performance Care Center. That is, they are going to talk about, they're based at Maison Rose Damas here in the nation's capital. They talk about elderly persons and children living with disabilities. Professor, your institution is also this year, the results of GC are just out. I'm sure they're recruiting now for the next year. What good news do you have for those children who will be going there now? This pays for as many as possible.
Absolutely. The good news is all our programs that we teach on campus at ICT University on the campus will also be brought online live. So if a student is sick and they cannot make it to campus, they can stay at home that day, still take their class online, They can stop, the technology allows them to stop the teacher in the middle of the class and ask questions from their sick bed. They can be traveling and they do that. It will also allow the lecturers, if they are traveling, to go to conferences, because we want to encourage lecturers to keep doing research and going to conferences. If they're in Germany, they don't have to miss their class. They can still teach their classes. And we are coming up with a lot of new partial scholarship schemes through several foundations that fund the ICT university. So we're excited about this new school year, and we've been having a lot of enrollment, a lot of students coming to enroll for this fall semester. But another great news is we are working out an arrangement right now, which I will announce on my next trip to Cameroon, where all ICT university students will have an opportunity, either in their 3rd or 4th year of their bachelor's degree, to come to the United States and do 1 year of their program there and come back and complete the final semester in Cameroon. We are at the final stages of arranging for that. And so I want to hold on with that announcement. But all students that join the university now, be it bachelor's, master's, or PhD, will have an opportunity to do exchange programs with U.S. institutions. We have an agreement right now for with Harvard University. We're one of very few institutions that have that kind of agreement, where our researchers in our masters in public health and PhD in public health, they can go do research at Harvard and come back. All this to improve the nature of public health in Cameroon and Africa.
Lastly, Professor, there's always this issue of having jobs in Cameroon. When I'm trained in all this, am I going to have the jobs? Would I go back to the job market and start looking for jobs? When you look at their former students,
right,
are they, all of them, having something to do, creating jobs too?
Yeah. Mr. Muke, I'm about to tell you, this is one great thing about the ICT University. We train entrepreneurs first. We don't train people to go and look for jobs. It's true, we have students, many of our students that graduate are employed, and not just in Cameroon, all over the world. I don't think there's a single continent where we don't have students from ICT University Cameroon either doing graduate level programs or working. I don't think there's a single continent. But we encourage entrepreneurship. We have to remember, I know growing up in Cameroon, my dad sent me out of the country as a teenager. I was still very young. All of us wanted to work for the government, wanted to be fonctionnaires. No government in the world has the money to hire everybody. And so we are starting next year with entrepreneurship competition, where we will fund selected businesses created by ICT University students, 10 million francs each, to start up their business. Okay. Of course, it will be a partnership, a joint ownership of the business between ICT University and the student. The student may not have the money to start the business. ICT University puts the money and trains them and mentors them through the process of creating these businesses, which will create jobs for other Cameroonians. So we train entrepreneurs first before we train them to work for others.
Professor Victor Mbarika, thank you so very much for coming, sir.
Always great being on your shows.
And I'm sure you're still here for several days so people can meet you.
Oh, absolutely.
You have a contact you may share with them?
I'll be in Cameroon for some time, Cameroon and other African countries. You can contact me at president@ictuniversity.edu.cm, CM for Cameroon.
And that is Professor Victor Mbarika, President of the Board of Trustees of ICT University. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Let's have a break. When we come back now, we shall be having a representative of Timely Performance Care Center at Maison Rose Damas to talk about elderly persons and care of children living with disabilities.